the quality opponents will bring things out of me that I didn't even know were there. You know what I mean? Just because of what I know I'm capable of. I trust my body. I trust what I can do. But there's sometimes that the harder the opponent, they'll put me in certain positions or put me in certain situations or circumstances where like things will just happen because maybe I was not maybe, but because I was on balance or because I was prepared to move my body a certain way at a certain time that I wasn't able to perform unless I was put in those positions. So yeah, sometimes I do things that I even surprise myself, but that's what I'm looking for because it takes a game opponent to bring that out of me. And whenever I come across someone who's tough or who's strong, it makes me scared. It excites me because it's like, I wonder what version of me they're going to bring out that I've never seen, you know?
Welcome to the Science of Building Champions podcast, where your host, Don Heatrick, chats with top-level fighters and coaches, diving into their stories to discover what makes champions.
Today I have the pleasure of speaking with Eddie Silky Smooth Abasolo, a standout in the world of Muay Thai, known for his dynamic fluid style and creative edge in the ONE featherweight division. Based in California, Eddie has made a name for himself not just as a fighter, but as a true artist in the ring, blending technique with an unmistakable flair. And Eddie, it's a real honor to have you here ahead of your fight there with Mohammed Younes Rabah just around the corner on November 8th at it's Lumpini Stadium in Bangkok, isn't it? Thanks for taking the time to join me.
Back out in Bangkok.
Yeah, you've been there before. You know what it's all about there, don't you?
Yeah. I love it, man. I love it. There's nothing like the Thai crowd, man.
Yeah, you're never in a boring fight. You're just always exciting to watch.
Oh, thank you.
But I mean, before we dig into where you are now, your dad was a fighter. You're the eldest of 5 siblings, and you started out with, it was like baseball and basketball, wasn't it, before you found Muay Thai? How did you get started in Muay Thai?
I just stumbled upon it. You know, I had no idea what Muay Thai was. And then my wife, her brother, he was into Muay Thai. And then I lived with them, right? We all lived together. And so he would watch fights and he would draw like Muay Thai characters, you know, he loved to draw. And then I seen the movie Umbak, you know, I was like, oh my God, I love this, you know? Funny enough, like, I was always drawn to Muay Thai characters and I didn't even realize it. Like, Sagat was one of my favorite, characters when I played Street Fighter. There's a few other, people in Muay Thai in the Street Fighter video game. Also in Bloodsport, the Muay Thai guy, like his style was one of my favorites in that movie, but I didn't know what it was, you know. But yeah, we just kind of found a gym. It was a Muay Thai school inside of a Taekwondo gym, and we just had a small part of the mat. And yeah, you know, I just showed up. I didn't really think nothing of it. You know, I just thought, oh, okay, we get to punch bags and, you know, learn how to punch, kick, knee, and all this other stuff. Cool. You know, I didn't really think nothing of it, but, you know, it helped me with the discipline to quit smoking, and it got me in better shape because at the time when I first joined, I was 225 pounds.
Really?
And yeah, I just, you know, we had some good guys in the gym and I wanted to be like them. And then when I started raising up my level, I wanted to be better than them. And then, you know what I mean? Things just kind of like started to snowball.
That's interesting that you kind of had those people in the gym as well that you wanted to be like. I think the role models thing is huge, isn't it? And almost like the role models from the type of characters that you were drawn to as well. All of that kind of just sucked you along there.
Yeah. It's wild. The journey's wild.
And at what stage then? How did you end up kind of on the competitive circuit? Because it sounds like you were just enjoying training to begin with, but there was a
Yeah.
point where you thought, right, it's time to compete. What happened there?
It's funny because I've always been a competitor because of my dad. When he coached me in Little League, and since he was my coach and the coach of our team, he was the hardest on me. And he would,
Yeah.
because you're the coach's son, you got to be able to play every position better than everyone on the team. So before practice, we'd be there practicing. After practice, we'd be there practicing. A lot of times, he would make me cry because he was pushing me so hard. But like in those moments where I'm mad and crying and frustrated, like I would do something spectacular. I would do well. And then, the encouragement would come. See, you can do it. You just need to, you know what I mean? But he built that competitive edge, and that just followed me through high school with high school sports. But as I got into Muay Thai, and then I realized people were competing, I wanted to compete too, and man, I feel like my first competition is what really created the big ripple for where I am now, because it was in San Francisco at World Team USA with Crew Sam, my first competition. I invited all my friends, all my family. When I came out from the warm-up room, which was probably a 50-foot walk, I came out all cocky and, just like feeling myself and everything. 20 seconds into the fight, I get stopped and dropped,
Ooh.
and I was so embarrassed. And afterwards, I stopped telling people that I had fights. I stopped telling my friends. I stopped telling my family. As a matter of fact, my very first coach, after that incident happened, like he kind of like brushed me to the side, threw me under the bus, and like didn't focus on me as much, and I remember one time we were at an event after that event, and there was probably like 7 of us on the team at the time, and we all took a picture together. And then he goes, okay, now only the fighters, Eddie, step to the side. And I was like, you know what I mean? This chain of events is what really like built the fire inside of me, and was like, okay, like I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna make it happen no matter what. I don't need no one's help. If anyone does help me, I'm willing to take it, but I'm not seeking no one's help or anything like that. And when we would be in the gym and he would be holding pads for other people, or when he would be teaching, I'd be ear hustling and I'd be on the bag trying to work on because I'm not getting no attention or anything like that. And then, yeah, I was just at the time they were called smokers.
Yeah.
I was just taking smokers through my uncle. My uncle was finding me smokers. And then one of my teammates caught wind and told my coach at the time, hey, Eddie's been fighting and he's been winning, So like the interest started build up again into me, but by that time, it was just like, I've already built my self-belief, and I feel like that chain of events is what helped me continue through this journey, because I feel like that's where I was able to break through the threshold over a lot of people in the area. It's just that I stayed consistent no matter how hard times got. I feel like that's what happens to a lot of people. We get deterred through a few failures, or maybe someone doesn't believe in us, or something like that, so we end up just blending in with civilization and like giving up on this dream.
Yeah, this weird thing that not a lot of people kind of see the point of.
Yeah.
You mentioned like consistency there. And I know I saw that you mentioned sort of back in your amateur career that Samart's advice about training consistency, maintaining
Yeah.
momentum, that's clearly it struck a chord with you, especially
Oh yeah.
staying ready at all times. Tell me more
Yeah.
about that.
Um, it was at in Oakland at Linda Deckwatt's gym, and she had a seminar with Sexon and Samart. And Samart, like he's to this day, he's one of my favorite top fighters. Just how elegant he is in the ring, but at the same time ferocious. So just being able to meet him was enough. And I remember I was able to talk to him a little bit because while we were in the seminar, I wanted to show him that I have something and I have skill and I wanted to stand out. But the way I chose to show it was with technique, balance, and control, and being a good partner, not just trying to beat up whoever, or overdo it with the drill that he gave, or just try to be extra flashy or fancy. It was just showing that I could be disciplined. And then, funny enough, I remember he came up to me, grabbed me while everyone was doing drills, and he said, "Come on, we do pads." And I'm like, he's holding pads for me. And then like afterwards we talked, and yeah, he said, never take more than 2 weeks off. Never, so I took that advice. I stayed consistent, and I've learned why, because it's easy to get dull. It's easy for the blade to get dull. A samurai doesn't just pick up his sword when it's time to go to war. Every day he's in the field, like feeling its weight, feeling it, how he can maneuver it, trying to sharpen it, this and that, And so when wartime is here, he knows what the sword is capable of. And I feel like that's how I've tried to approach it. Also, I remember at my old gym, life happened with some of the people that inspired me when I first walked into the gym, the fighters. I could never touch them, but some of them went to school. Some of them, started like focusing more on work and this and that. And I stayed in the gym. And then when they would like trickle back in, the roles were reversed. And I'd vowed that's never going to happen to me. I'm never going to take a break. And then the new person that was in here, I can't touch him no more,
Yeah. Yeah. And it is that sort of drip, 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 isn't it? That sort of the drips that bury that hole through the rock eventually. It's that kind of analogy is kind of, I'm going to keep dripping. I might not be blasting as hard as some of these guys seem to be, but there. How have you managed to avoid your breaks in training then? How do you decide when to ease off versus push forward, especially with like minor injuries and things?
I just make adjustments. My mindset has always been like say if I hurt my shoulder, hurt my foot, hurt my knee, hurt whatever, my mindset immediately is like, well, what if this happens in a fight? Like, how would I fight? So I would work on the weapons that I do have and what I am capable of doing. And as whatever injury is in the process of healing, by the time it comes back, all my other weapons have gotten stronger. And it just makes that weapon that much more better because now it's like I can implement more into my game. I'm threats from more angles and more aspects. So I've just always been a student of the game in that sense.
It's really, I love what you said there, because often, the bits you hurt are the bits you kind of overtrain as well. And they're often your favorite weapons. And you kind of become more of that one trick pony. But injuries are those opportunities to start sharpening up other bits you've been neglecting. And it does balance you up. It does. I've seen that happen so many times as well. So, that's awesome.
I feel like a lot of my growth has happened from injuries because back in the day, a long time ago, when I injured myself, I was only able to step. That's it. I couldn't pivot. I couldn't hop. I could only step. That was my limitation. And it made it to where I had to focus on where I step, when I step, how I shift my weight, just that much more. I had to really focus on that. I couldn't do anything extra. You know, the thing about elite athletes or just athletes, we get in the gym and we're ready to get after it. You know, we skip gears 1 and 2. We don't take the slow steps to get forward because we just want to get after it. You know, we're so ready to blast the bag or blast the pads and whatnot. But through injuries, it forces us to stay in gears 1 and 2 for a long period of time. And then we realize, I've realized that gears 3 and 4 only work because I'm able to go to gear 1 and 2. It's like driving a car, you know, you can't skip the gears. And there's times where you may be in 3rd gear, but in order to go faster, you got to downshift, you know, so to catch the gears again. So it's just like trying to find that and feel that, you know. I feel like injuries help us downshift and focus more on the things that we overlook on the day-to-day basis, just because we're capable of overlooking them.
Yeah. And I've noticed you seem to mix play alongside that grind in training too, especially on tools like the air bike. But is playfulness a way for you to sort of stay consistent without burning out?
Oh, definitely. You gotta love what you do, you know. Anything that we do can become a drag, no matter how much we love it. But if we keep that playful side, you know, a little bit of not serious. I mean, fighting is a serious thing. It's a serious game. And it's very dangerous. But, I mean, it sounds cliche. If you're not having fun, you're not doing it right, you know? And I feel like that's where most of my potential comes out, when I'm having fun. Can't find that flow state unless you have fun, unless you have some play, because it's a fine line and it's a hard balance to find at times. But we have to take things serious, not too serious, because we'll be too distorted and too tense. We can't. We have to be able to play, but we can't play too much. We'll be too loose, and there's no structure. So it's just finding that balance. And then once we find that balance, we can feel it. It feels like a daydream. That's what the flow state feels like to me. It feels like a daydream.
Yeah. That flow, that play, that creativity you have in the ring. I think, you know, you often surprise your opponents with something unexpected. You even seem to surprise yourself sometimes. Would I be right in saying that?
Most definitely. Like, I know what I'm capable of. Cause I'm in the gym, I'm doing cartwheels, front rolls, you know, I'm just trying to move my body. I'm playing with the yoga ball, just like trying to feel my body and just up my body awareness in space, you know? And this is what I feel like allows me to pull off maneuvers on the spot. But this is why I stress that I want quality opponents, because the quality opponents will bring things out of me that I didn't even know were there. You know what I mean? Just because of what I know I'm capable of. I trust my body. I trust what I can do. But there's sometimes that the heart of the opponent, they'll put me in certain positions or put me in certain situations or circumstances where like things will just happen because maybe I was not maybe, but because I was on balance or because I was prepared to move my body a certain way at a certain time that I wouldn't able to perform unless I was put in those positions. So yeah, sometimes I do things that I even surprise myself. But that's what I'm looking for because it only takes it takes a game opponent to bring that out of me. And whenever I come across someone who's tough or who's strong, it doesn't make me scared. It excites me because it's like I wonder what version of me they're gonna bring out. I've never seen I've never seen. You know.
I've seen that you said before that that fear and anxiety keep you sharp, and it's part of the recipe for a fight. And that sounds like you're kind of speaking about that again there. But I'm
Yeah.
really I love that, and I think, how do you come to see those sort of emotions as assets rather than obstacles?
I think probably practicing optimism throughout the day. You know, when things happen, I just try to be optimistic and find the silver lining. There's always a silver lining to something, you know, whether it's something that redirects you a certain way or whatever, because I'm sure we can all think of a time in our life where, man, I would never want to go through that again. But then if we review what that, the chain of events that followed up after that, it's like, man, it would have never led me to here, or it would have never led me to meet this person, or I would have never seen this place, or, like, so if that would have never happened, I would have never seen this promised land that I'm at right now. So I would never want to go through it, but I'm happy it happened. You know, I feel like it's the same thing when it comes to fear or anxiety or anything. It's like, by this time I know I can't get rid of it, you know? So what silver lining is it trying to show me? They say that a gazelle, when it's running away, when a lion tries to come out and pounce on it, its first initial jump is the highest jump, is the far, that's where they get the most distance or whatnot because of that fear.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for the fear, they wouldn't be able to jump as high or far or whatnot, or run as fast. It's the fear that brings it out of us, and I feel like we can utilize it.
And you've found that, haven't you? You've got like an historical reference of your ability and what that's triggered in you, how you felt, and then what happened as a result. And it's like you say, it's a reliable history that shows this is the pressure that actually releases my best performance. So, yep,
Yeah.
I'm going to get on with it.
Yeah.
I saw in one of your recent posts as well that you said it was about, let me get this, it was, what would we like to do with our for a living? That question, and the difference between simply doing what we like versus finding true passion that drives us to achieve greatness. So yeah, that difference between liking things and having a passion. Can you tell me more about that? What you were thinking there?
Like Muay Thai, I have a true love for Muay Thai. I'm truly passionate about it. Like the best way I could describe it is when you have a crush on someone, you see them everywhere. Everything reminds you of them. You can't stop thinking about them. That's what Muay Thai is for me. Everywhere. It's not that I do like when I juggle or when I'm on the balance board or when I'm skating or playing basketball, it's not that I'm like, how will this help Muay Thai? It just clicks. It's like, man, this is, you know, kind of like same concept as this in Muay Thai, or this, it just comes to me. I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel or anything. I just like, again, I like to figure out how my body can move. I just love movement. I feel like that's what helps keep me young. And these things just happen. I just see it naturally. But, you know, skateboarding, juggling, basketball, I like these things a lot, a whole lot. But I'm not willing to go through the sacrifices that I am for Muay Thai. At the end of the day, I need Muay Thai. I don't need basketball. I don't need skateboarding. You know what I mean? I like to do these things so much. But I'm not willing, like I said, I'm just going around in circles. But when things start to get difficult, I don't feel like pursuing it. Muay Thai, no matter how difficult it gets, no matter what circumstances I'm in, no matter what opportunities I'm not getting, or no matter what, even after I'm done fighting, I'm still going to need it. I'm still going to have a passion for it, you know, because it's just made me so much of a better person.
It's what you're saying there really reminds me as well. Are you familiar with the author Stephen Kotler? You've mentioned flow state, so you might know of Stephen Kotler.
Yeah, I might.
Yeah, so he writes a lot about flow state, and there's a model that he uses. I love it, it is a continuum from curiosity to passion, and then finally purpose.
Yeah.
And for him, it's like the curiosity is the things you like. It's the stuff you dabble with, lots of different things to kind of a low level. And then like the passion is that deeper emotional connection. And that's where that sort of real motivation comes from. And you've got far more resilience in practicing and doing things and coping with failures and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
And then the sort of final end of it is purpose. And that's like using your passion to contribute to others. And I thought, that makes so much sense. And that's where you have far more sustained motivation then, because it's not such a selfish thing. You're kind of sharing it with other people and helping others feel the same passion you did. And I think that's a really helpful model. It seems to fit with what you're saying there. Yeah. And it's the only way you can kind of go through the bits that suck is if you're really passionate about it. So yeah.
And also Muay Thai it's helped me connect with so many people from all walks of life in many different crafts. You know, it's like, because I also teach privates, right? And I've dealt with so many different types of clients that are, you know, some of them are CEOs and realtors, some of them are publishers, some of them are teachers, some of them just all across the board. And I'm able to have never-ending conversations with them because I can relate to them and they can relate to me through the way that we speak about what we're passionate about. So I feel like Muay Thai has given me this other language that has been that's been able to help me connect with people.
Yeah. And it is that connection. Actually, ultimately, I mean, it's nice to achieve those sort of goals for yourself, but there's something different about helping other people unlock something inside themselves too, isn't there? It's nice. And that coaching element and especially, you know, that journey, the fighting career is so long and then that's not an option anymore. And that coaching element becomes more of the substitute for that. And it's not a poor substitute for it. I don't think if you've got it wired right, if it has become your purpose, it's equally as fulfilling.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
ironically, today I subscribe to, as most people do, lots of newsletters and things. And I've got one that literally an email come in my inbox today. And it's from James Clear, who wrote Atomic Habits, that one.
Oh, okay.
And it's right along these lines. I'm just going to read this to you. So it's, there's a quote he's put in there. Focus on what provides value to others, not what impresses others. Other people spend about as much time thinking about your lifestyle and accomplishments as you spend thinking about their lifestyle and accomplishments, which is to say, not much time at all. The things we do to impress others rarely impress them for longer than 5 minutes, but the things we do to provide value for others can last a lifetime. In the long run, one of the most impressive things you can do is to provide exceptional value. For me, that's purpose just wrapped up right there. It just arrived today, and I was like, this is Eddie's talking about this kind of stuff too.
Man, I love that. I love that. I love that so much.
James Cleary's got a really nice turn of phrase. It's spot on.
Yeah.
I realize we're kind of going over time here just a little bit. I'm going to let you get away. But finally, if you were to give one piece of advice to help someone who wants to be as great as they can be, what would it be?
Probably the thing that kept me going when I was so close to quitting as an amateur was from Joe Schilling. I hit him up because I messed up my knee in the fight as an amateur, and I looked up other fighters, and I seen he had knee problems and overcame them before as well. And I just shot him a message. I didn't think he would message me back, but he did. He messaged me back, and I told him my situation, and he just told me, believe in yourself even if no one else does. And I don't know, that did it for me, because as long as I got self-belief, it doesn't matter what happens around me. It doesn't matter if no one else can see the vision that I can see. I have to accept that God gave this vision to me and no one else. So I have to pursue it. And just believe in yourself even when no one else will, because we will lose inevitably. If you're in the game long enough, and if you're fighting quality people, or even outside of fighting, in your craft, life is like a fight. And in a fight, the only thing that's inevitable is that 1, you're going to miss, you're not going to land everything. And 2, you're going to get hit, so deal with it. And that's pretty much it.
Just that, keep your eye on the big picture, not that little picture that's happening right now. It's awesome. Yeah, incredibly valuable. Thanks, Eddie. I mean, I've been wanting to speak with you for the longest time, and you've not disappointed, mate. Thank you.
Oh man, that means so much. Thank you so much, man. We should do this again, man, because this was a very good conversation. I like the exchange that we had.
Thank you. I'll keep you. I'll hold you to that. We'll do it again. We'll do something again.
For sure.
But for now, I'll let you get away, and all the best with your final prep. And like I say, you're never in a boring fight. I'm looking forward to seeing you put on the Abasolo show on November 8th on the ONE 169.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Before we wrap up, be sure to tune in for Eddie's fight against Mohammed Yunus Rabah on November 8th at ONE 169, live from the legendary Lumpini Stadium in Bangkok. You can watch it on Amazon Prime or the ONE Championship YouTube channel. To keep up with Eddie's journey, follow him on Instagram at Eddie_Abasolo_show, where he shares a closer look at his training, mindset, and life as a fighter. And check out his California training ground at theresistancefc.com. All the links and more details are in the show notes. Thanks for joining us on this episode, and we'll catch up with you on the next one as we continue exploring the world of Muay Thai and the champions within it.
Thanks for listening. If you found this valuable, please like, subscribe, and share with someone else it could help too. please give the podcast a review or comment below. We'd love to hear from you. As always, you can visit heatrick.com for more Muay Thai performance podcasts, videos, articles, and guides. Catch you next time.